Good afternoon, my friends. No, good morning. Wait, what am I saying? Good morning. Oh man, I'm just so totally in the automation headspace there. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. It is indeed Sunday morning, and welcome to our next episode of Riven. I tell you what, we have an unseasonably sunny Sunday morning. So if you do find yourself in the south of the UK, consider getting out and enjoying some of that weather before the rain comes again. Today, well, we're back exactly where we started last episode on Riven. We are on this little pier looking at this misaligned Zeotrope. We do have some more of this marble puzzle done, though. We know the crater island. We know the crater island colour. We know the first island colour, and that gives us some great insights. We've got village first and crater. That leaves, just adjusting my mic there. That leaves Plateau Island, which we're currently on, and Prison Island, which we're pretty sure we can't get to. But Prison Island, we have the advantage of it only being a 1x1 square, so you can't exactly get the position of that wrong. Well, we'll do our best not to anyway. Obviously, within the 1x1 square, it can itself rotate. We'll come on to that later. Aim of the game for today, maybe we can get this marble puzzle done. On the other hand, we do have a comment from the YouTube comments section, which literally just said, animal puzzle, animal puzzle, animal puzzle. So depending on how we get on with this Zeotrope today, maybe we'll actually circle back to the animal puzzle sooner rather than later. Anyway, for now though, let's have a look at this Zeotrope. So, the problem with this is that it's misaligned. Yeah? It needs to be, like, moved, adjusted. Okay, so we're gonna set the dome going. That's fine. We're gonna need the dome to be going to be able to see what colour it is anyway. Yeah. You'll have noticed for the first time as well that we're actually also doing. We're not running pre-roll ads. We're now running ad breaks, so that new viewers who are joining us for the first time don't have to watch 30 seconds of ads before they can, see what we're all about. So there will be one ad break during this session today, just to let you guys know. So this side, it's allowing us to turn 90 degrees. I just kind of want to grab it and, like, twist it a little bit, That's all we need to do with it. It won't let me look down. I'm sort of trying some click and drags a little bit. Yeah, that is indeed what I'm planning on doing. Today, so the first time I tried this was on the stream on Monday. It didn't work brilliantly because, of course, when you're on the ad break, you are still thinking about stuff, right? And then I suddenly realised what the answer to one of the puzzles was on an ad break. But, like, I wasn't doing anything. I was just thinking about it. So, to be on the safe side this time out, we have to avoid thinking about Riven during the Riven ad break. So I think we're going to talk about board games instead. That's my plan. Come on. The click and drag. Surely click and drag, click and drag. It's got to be my friend here, right? doesn't really give you much, does it? Doesn't really give you much. Why does it want me to look at this rock? Okay. I don't really know anything about that, but okay. Stepping forward puts us right into the dome. Artivelli in the chat, good morning to you. Good morning to you. We are looking at Zeotropes. How can we... It's one of those situations where if I was being incredibly pretentious, I'd call it ludonarrative dissidence, right? When you look at an in-game object and you go, if I was here in real life, I'd just adjust it. I just point it to the thing that it's supposed to be being pointed at. You know, I don't know, yeah. I'd try and move it at least anyway. But it really doesn't seem like it wants to be moved. I wonder if it's something to do with these ladders around the outside here. But don't see why that would be the case. Like, if we don't get this part of the puzzle, it's not the end of the world, right? Because, as we discussed last time, as long as we're super duper accurate on where the marbles need to be placed, we can place the 3 remaining marbles in the 2 remaining slots, and there are only 6 possible combinations of that. So, you know, one way or another, we are going to try and solve this puzzle today. But yeah, it's a weird one. Maybe I'm missing some other piece of information about what colour we would expect this island to just be without it necessarily. I don't know. Okay, let's think about that. But whilst we're letting that mull over in our minds, right, there is some stuff we do need to sort out in terms of the orientation of these. Because Alcatraz Island... Oh, no, okay, no. These pictures are probably good enough, actually. Because we have this picture here, so we know that that's going to be a 180 degree rotation. Okay, we have... No, we have the pictures that are necessary here. Oh, so do you know what? Maybe we just do it. Maybe we just go and do it. Ramp Corv, best time of the week. Sunday morning. It's that brilliant weekend midpoint, I find, right? Where... Sorry, I got an itchy ear suddenly. It's that brilliant midpoint, mid-weekend point, where you've chilled out a little bit from Friday, but you've got like a whole nother half of your weekend left to go. So, yeah. I tell you what, people who sleep in on Sunday mornings, they don't know what they're missing. Sunday mornings is where it's at. You know? Everything's so quiet outside as well. It's lovely. I think let's do it. Before we go into observation room, survey room, what's he called it? Last week was monitoring situation scope in my survey room. Yeah. Survey room, survey room. That is going to be down here. Bonk, 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 bonk. Rotate that. I'm figuring, okay, so the survey room, we checked out the broadcast room from the first island. That didn't seem to have anything in it. Let's check out the underwater layer. See if we can miss something in there that would reasonably constitute a survey room. Have we seen anything else that could be a survey room? Like there's some bits and pieces in the first island we can't get to. There is, of course, Gehn's summer house on Crater Island, which, you know, we've given it a good explore, but we didn't properly, you know, we've never really, like, turned it upside down, right? We certainly go back there. We have Spiker in the chat. Good day to you as well. Good day to you. For those of you who are fans of the 90s point-and-click adventure style game, I had a great session recording Labyrinth of Time yesterday. Finally, you know, in episode 6, we finally had an episode where I feel like we've made great progress. And so I feel like that game is pretty close to completion now. But I'm certainly interested in hearing other recommendations for good point-and-click puzzle games. What are these things? Maybe they're nothings. Okay. Observation room? Question mark? Let's see. Now, if I recall correctly, we press the button to maintain stealth. I certainly do recall the person we ran into in the hallway. They took the train. Now this is just the lights. Yeah. Oh, the fish is coming back. Well, that's interesting. Last time we were here, he stopped coming at all. Okay. So this is just the various colours and things. Let's put that one away. This one, I think, all it's shown is presumably Catherine. That's just the same thing on and off. Unless there is something we're supposed to be seeing this person doing, but I'm presuming not. Oh, this is the thing. That makes sense. I thought whilst watching your video, another potentially creepier way they could have handled that encounter would be to have it take place in this room here instead. First we spun this chair back around. Oh dear. Oh dear. Don't give these people ideas. This ain't supposed to be a horror game. Like, we have enough of that nonsense with things like, we have enough of that nonsense with things like, you know, snakes jumping out of, what do you call it? Snakes jumping out of jack-in-the-boxes. That's it. That's it. I'm pretty sure it's in this direction. So, can we now? But it's not this that's moving, right? Oh yeah, I mean, like the snake in the jack-in-the-box. It's like, oh yeah, let's just throw in a jump scare 8 hours into our enemyless, casual, chilled out walking simulator, you know? Okay. Is the answer literally just a fish? Like, is that the joke? That, like, this one ain't even an animal sound. It's just the animal clue is just the shadow on the water. I don't even know. We didn't take any screenshots of what animals we have available. So we should actually go back there and work out of the animals we have which stones those are. But I think I'm kind of happy to try fish as a thing. So we'll take a screen there. And we'll just sort of give it. Oh yeah, we've got to press the button. Press the button to turn the rig off. So, animal puzzle, we are going to be going this way. This way? Yeah, this way. Hang on, wait, no. The other way? No, it's the other way. The other way is the way we want to go. Pretty sure. This takes us to the bottom of the front. Does it? Yes. Tiny trains in the chat. Oh yeah, I totally added a new sound in the soundboard. Just for this exact occasion. God, Gotta use them channel points somehow, right? Okay. Well, it can't always be cat ears, can it? Right. Move that up to the middle. So on the Monday stream at the moment, we just started Cocoon, which I quite liked. I quite like that. It's not the hardest puzzle game in the world, but kind of nice, you know, solid. With some, bizarrely frustrating bosses that sort of turn up a little bit by surprise. But yeah, I'd give it a recommend. We're a couple of hours into it, which my understanding is it's not a terribly long game, so I don't know how far we are from the end. But that's worth checking out, I think, if that's your thing. It's possibly a touch on the expensive side at the moment, though, I think. It's a fairly new game. Okay. It is indeed this way to go up there. Whoops. There we go. Let's open that up. Encountering the fellow in the camera room could be better approached in the remake. Having him just be standing in the hallway might not work as well with free movement. Yeah, you do have to be very clever in terms of making sure that people can't, like, do anything like catch up to your NPCs or see your NPCs just kind of, yeah. I mean, it can work, right? Because, like, what you do is you have them so close to the doorway that you couldn't not, so that you couldn't catch them up. And then as soon as they'd be out of the player's view, you will, as soon as they would be out of the player's view, you would just make their character model disappear. This is the correct path already, that's good. If he spawned in behind you instead, it would avoid the problem. True. The Sunners is going to be an interesting problem, for sure, yeah. So, let's have a look at these, then. That looks a bit like a Sunner to me, doesn't it? Okay, right. Let's have a little look at my notes here, because I did nab a screenshot of... Oh no, hang on. I didn't nab a screenshot of that beetle in the end. Ah, shoot. I did go back and look at the beetle. Could be that fish. Could be the fish. Don't think I see any other fish. Hummingbird. That's your walk. That's definitely a walk. That's probably most like the Sunner, isn't it? Sorry, what am I looking for here? I'm looking for like a beetle fly that buzzes and a red frog is the other one I'm looking for. It kind of looks like a frog, doesn't it? Very stylized. Nah, that's nothing. Nope. That's probably the most fish-looking one. Oh, that looks more like a frog. This is a puzzle that would definitely be better in full 3D, because being able to go up to each of these sort of in turn. No, I don't think it's that. That's not it. Hummingbird. Okay. Let's start entering digits. That's certainly the one that looks most like the fish, and that's number 1. There's like a little beetle creature which also flies, so it could be that one. It's not that. I'm sensing it's not that. It could be that, though. Let's go with this one. Okay, which of these most looks like the red frog? Now, that kind of looks like a frog. But it's got a weirdly shaped head. The frog we saw was more like a frog, which would be more like that. The Sunners, I think it's got to be that one, right? Because basically look like murder penguins. And the Warg we've had a good look at, and I think the Warg kind of has to be shoot, where is it? Yeah, there he is. Oh, right, the Warg is number 5. That's going to put you in line of sight, so you see whether you've got it correct. It looks like it's doing something. It's a linking book! Which has power as well. But look at this, it's all burned up and stuff. But it looks like this is taking us... Well, hang on, wait, that's the art on the cover of the game. But I always thought that was the village. No, that's not the village, is it? I always thought it was like a super duper, like, stylized artistic interpretation of the sort of bobbly village, you know? Oh, okay. Well, let's go. You're impressed I got it first try. There are more clues to identify the animals. Oh, really? Oh, dear. So, I don't think we can go forward here. So, where are we? I'm presuming this isn't what we've been calling the 98. Okay. Oh, did he just dart me? How rude. So, this is the secret villager village, right? This is the secret villager village. This is where they live, where Gehn can't follow them, and they've hidden the linking book to it, right? So you put them in prison, Gehn puts them in prison, they escape out to here, and Gehn doesn't know about the linking book, so he can't follow them. It's pretty genius, to be fair. So presumably this world does not have any of Gehn's influence, except of course the influence, the cultural influence of the fact they've all escaped from him. Well, here's the thing, guys. If we wake up in a prison cell, we might not be getting to the fire marbles this episode after all. Where am I? Okay, I am. That's clearly where I was before. So I am in this thing. Oh yeah, of course, because of course, I remember that we've not been using any of the linking books at all in this game, so I've kind of literally had a bit of a mind blank about how they work. In Myst, like the whole point was when you use a linking book, the linking book's left behind, right? You don't bring the linking book with you, but it teleports you to a place that has no guarantee of having a return book. And really that's the whole point of like why Gehn is trapped, right, on Riven. So yeah. So getting back here, well, that might not actually do anything for us anyway. They've got a linking book and by extension a descriptive book. I have no idea what the difference between those two things are. I thought linking books were the one. Yeah, I think I only really know about linking books. And to be fair, I only know about them because of the YouTube comment section. Okay. That hole too small to fit out of. Do a little escape. Picture link. Oh, someone's coming in. Alrighty.
Katarina e now da saya palo. Yapa ay manay yalepo. Bekaretere wirape yelo kene falapo. Tisai. Why te falupe?
So we've got two books here. One of which appears to be very similar in style to the book I currently have. What? We're introducing an inventory for the first time? Okay. What is this? Oh my god. Right, okay. What's this one? That's the book. No, this is an escape book. This takes us back to Atris's cave from the first game, right? So this just gives us an escape entirely. Right, here we go. Are you guys ready for this? Because I'm not sure I am. Am I going to need my glasses for this? Blimey. Where's my accessibility options, huh? Right, I linked to Riven a week ago. The smell of the place overwhelmed me moments before I could see anything. With my sight only partially cleared, I stood motionless. peeping ahead through a dim veil which was slowly lifting, there was a violent clang and something appeared. I remember breathing slowly and very deeply, tasting the familiar Riven air, but not recognizing a thing. I must have been hit with the dart right away. I thought it was an insect bite at first. Amateur Mac says bars appeared. Bars appeared? Oh, the word I skipped was bars. Hang on. I've now got someone else coming in.
Sirapo. Ibuko mobuko wisipo. Na vene. Tapo revene beno.
She's bringing me more books.
Now, Katerine. Wisifa polo ya sepe yai.
Cool. If we keep reading a little bit and then coming back to the main, just keep bringing in more and more books. Yeah, okay. So that is going to take us back to Riven. Interesting that this part here almost looks like it's not even attached to the rest of the book anymore. So that's kind of interesting. No, sorry, I didn't realize that bars was the word that I missed. So yeah, where was I? Yeah, bars appeared, quite right. See, because this is what happened to us when we first arrived at Riven, wasn't it? So must have been hit by the dart right away, trying to remember it all, but it's difficult, maybe because of the drug. There was a voice. Oh, incidentally, the lady that's speaking to us in Rivenese or in some other language, I'm not sure. Katerina, almost certainly Catherine. She's probably on message, let's say, with what we're trying to do. Pretty convenient as well in terms of, because this is something I've been thinking about as well, right? Is like, we've been told Riven is collapsing, you got to go in, you got to rescue Catherine. And here's something I've been thinking, what about all the other villagers that are living here? Like, does Atris does not really have that much of a plan for those guys? I don't know, but they do at least have a way of getting off Riven. So that's good. There was a voice. A man I did not recognise stood before me, Rivenese, though he was wearing Denis dress. He seemed to be talking to me, but the poison was already taking effect. A shadow crept in and I fell asleep. Then there were many voices, but I understood none of them. Like hundreds of people whispering, I couldn't wake up. I think he mentioned evacuating the villages in the journal he gave us. Oh, did he? Oh, right, okay, cool. Yeah. Atris. He's a good lad, Atris, isn't he? Yeah. No matter. The dream did end, and now to be here with Jati. It's been so many years, I didn't realise how much I missed her, like a piece of me that I had forgotten I'd lost. She's beautiful and so full of warmth, but the years have also left her with a wound which was not there when we were children. We've also got ourselves a little note here. Oh, this is from Catherine. I write quickly from my prison. Nilak will return your book, which the something intercepted upon your arrival. After questioning her, I've concluded it was written by Atris for a very specific purpose. Gehn will desire to use it. Oh, this is the prison book. Oh, right, okay. Yes, it's very important we don't use that book. I remember now. That's the book we're supposed to trap Gehn in. So it's like, yeah, right, cool. Yeah, let's avoid accidentally getting the bad ending for no benefit. Gehn will desire to use it, although he may have suspicions. If you can find my prison, you will still need the combination to release me. Gehn keeps it in his office. Gehn keeps it in his office. So that begins summer house. Then I assume we're to signal Atreus. I think I know how it must be done. But don't signal him before I'm released. Well, I don't know how it's supposed to be done. I'm glad you know how it's supposed to be done. So you can ensure that I don't signal him before you're released by just not telling me. So that's a thing. Fine. Oh, great. Okay, right. This is the same page. I do wish she were more interested. It seems like I'm asking all the questions. It's awkward. No one asks me where I've been or what I've been doing. This hurts, but I understand it. Their beliefs are from out of ignorance and oppression. They are a gentle people, but they've had their something destroyed, and now they frantically cling to anything that might save them. But why have they chosen to cling to me? I'm confused. As a child, I always felt out of place here. I never belonged. They misunderstood me, and I couldn't relate to them. But now I'm overwhelmed by an intense feeling that I owe everything to them and this place. I thought I would never see them again, and yet I'm here. I've been given this second chance, but a second chance at what? Saving them? Fulfilling their prophecies? Being their saviour? And then there's a little sketch here where there is a... That looks like a kind of colour that's been sort of scratched out. Now, Amachak says in the chat that it's a moiety. Okay. The moiety, Atreus would want me to chronicle all that I've learned. I can at least record some of it. So this hasn't been written by Atreus. Is this written by Catherine? Maybe. It seems that when Atreus and I... It probably is Catherine then. Trapped Gehn on Riven many years ago, our efforts were witnessed by most of the inhabitants here. 2 of the Rivenese even witnessed the confrontation with Gehn at the fissure, where I linked back to Myst and where Atreus threw himself into the abyss. Of course, they understood little of what they were seeing, but they somehow were able to guess that we had won, that Gehn was no god at all, but only an imposter, a false god, and that we had trapped him here on Riven. I always hoped they would deduce this simple truth, but their further conclusions have astonished me. Atreus had stripped Gehn of his power, therefore Atreus must be a true god. As a god, he was choosing me, the spiritual misfit from a Rivenese womb, to be his wife. I was transcending into deity and would lord over Riven forever. Thus, the moiety, as they call themselves, were from a dissident society, sworn enemies of Gehn. Now, for those of you who've been watching the whole time, right, you'll know that I'm also in the middle of reading Dune currently. Oh, I also just stuck the Book of Atris on my Christmas wish list. So let me know how many of these games I'm supposed to have played before I read that, because I don't want to spoil future games, if that makes sense. I don't know how many of the Mysts I need to play before I should read Book of Atris. But this sounds very similar to the whole kind of Bezagenerate mission Principa and whatever. Oh, just this one before the book. Oh, right, okay, so I got a complete Riven before I read Book of Atris. Okay, that's good to know. I did not know of their beliefs regarding Atris and myself until 2 days ago. Gehn was, for some reason, hesitant to tell me. I can't figure out why. I know she doesn't believe these things. Of course, everyone also assumed that I would be aware of my own god status, so they made no effort to inform me. I only realised it at recent gatherings to which I was invited. I sat at the front of a dimly lit and crowded cave as they told a mythical story of my own life, acting out the battle between Atris, myself, and Gehn at the edge of the fissure. The events had seemed exaggerated into grandiose proportions. It was offensive, but I was unable to stop it. I was unable to break the illusion, which is the very foundation of their hope and purpose, and which was given them courage to band together and rebel against Gehn. Since then, I've learned of other doctrines and beliefs that have evolved, the most disturbing of which is the conviction that one day I would return to Riven to free them. Some believe that I will overthrow Gehn. Others believe that I will bring them to paradise. There's a little sketch here of something. I don't know how to deal with this. I fight it myself. I love these people. My only real kindred, but they will not love me as an equal, which hurts me. I would rather be their slave than their master. And we've got a few more sketches here. Over the years, as Gehn's power has become greater and greater, the moieties' numbers have grown and they have become more and more adept at hiding themselves. They now live in a complex network of caves that he still has not discovered. The moiety, for the most part, have completely severed their relationship with many of the Rivenese that chose against joining them. But I hope they've not sacrificed vital limbs in order to remove the cancer. Given Father and Grant are still on the surface in Gehn's domain, and I long to see them. These, I assume, are the names of two people. But I dismiss Shroud's Gitty's face every time I've mentioned them. Okay. Since this, something took place. They have interfered with the surface in superficial ways, occasionally sabotaging one of Gehn's constructions or stealing food from the villagers. They wear strange masks and costumes, driving their short forays to the island's surface and take this something very seriously. refusing to be seen by anyone outside the moiety unless they are purposely something. During. Thank you. Unless purposely. I'm not sure on that one. They get much something out of the fact that those are the surface. Oh man, these last couple of sentences have been particularly hard. Frightened by these costumes, catching them, calling them evil spirits or ghosts. Okay, so they're going in. They're doing raids. They're doing raids. It was during one of these expeditions that they fortuitously rescued me from one of Gehn's guards when I first appeared on the island. Otherwise, I'm sure I would have been delivered to Gehn immediately. I've no doubt that he's now searching for me. Of course, I am now aware that I was fooled. Atris is not here. I was at first devastated by this realization. Now I am thankful he would be in extreme peril here, although there is a quiet inner voice echoing resentment that wants him far away. I have just witnessed an age dying, gasping at its last breath. Yeah, the most difficult puzzle of Riven, Catherine's handwriting. Oh my word. Today I ventured to the surface to see what has become of this island. I hoped it would not be as bad as Moiety had represented. It was worse. They had become slowly accustomed to its steady decay, but I was devastated. Okay, quick check. How much longer is this book? Oh my word. Catherine. No. What is wrong with you? I do not have the lung capacity nowadays to be able to read all this in one sitting. How many pages is this? I literally lost count of how many times I've clicked. No, we didn't even get this far yet. Catherine needs a lesson in brevity, right? I understand she's not writing this for my benefit, but woof. It's important stuff. Just take it one page at a time. Yeah, well. We're going to go to an advert break fairly soon, so... Oh, that's a good point, actually. To be able to tell when the advert breaks are, I need to actually have my stream summary going, don't I? I need to have my my dashboard up. Oh, the ad break's going to start in 1 minute, in fact. So, good thing I had half an eye on the clock. So yeah, so that'll give us a chance to catch a drink and get comfortable, ready for the next instalment of Catherine's magnum opus. But let's see how far we can get in 30 seconds. So today I venture to the surface of what has become of this island. Right, yeah, no, I was devastated. We read that bit. The lips from which the kiss is wrought as fallen words will fall cold breath, the womb from which the cry released has suffered hurt will suffer death. Hashtag deep. On that note, we are going to go to an ad here. I will see you guys in 3 minutes. Grab a water. See you soon. Okay, ad break is going to be ending fairly soon. So, let me just quickly catch up on the chat here. So we've got... you can actually read the Book of Atris before playing Riven. Oh, I see. Okay. That's good. Oh, you only saw one ad. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. On my screen, it still says that we're on an ad break for another 10 seconds. But, cool. Okay, in theory, ad break is over there. So, let's get back to this book. I'm not sure we're going to finish this book this episode, right? So, really interested to hear your comments in the chat here. If we cut the episode before we finished reading this book, would you guys prefer... Because I can read the book and record it and post it up on YouTube and just have it as a short 15-minute video for those who are interested in the reading and the thinking during the book, or save it for the next stream. Because I'm never really sure how these audiobook segments really play during the stream itself, right? Because I know on YouTube many people skip the book sections. The rest of the book could be put off until next time. Okay. Yeah, no, sure, but what I mean is it better to have the book on the stream, or is it better to just record the book in my own time and we'll just put it up on YouTube and people who are interested in that section can watch that and people who aren't can just skip it? You'd recommend reading it all before going further in the game. And so far the chat has helped in the interpretation of her writing. That is true. That is true. Amateur Max says, I don't mind the reading. Okay, fair enough. We'll leave the reading in the stream. In the stream. Okay. So, and reading it now, probably the best game experience. So to get to the surface, we had to travel through a complex series of doors and passages. Before the last of these doors, they offered me a weapon, which I accepted, and then a mask. I held the mask in my hands for a while, wondering what sort of terror it might invoke in those members of my family who still live on the surface. But I also knew I must keep my identity hidden from Gehn's ever-vigilant eye, so I accepted it as well. Then, together, we swam a short expanse and emerged out of the surface of the ocean under a rocky overhang. The something sunlight made my eyes sting, but the fresh, rich air was exhilarating after these past weeks in the dark caves. The two men with me were silent, communicating only with hand signals. The harsh sunlight, thank you. The three of us emerged from one hiding place and made our way to the top of the plateau. At the edge of the thick and overgrown area of the forest, they stopped, peered through the foliage for a moment, and then turned to me as if awaiting my command, but could not respond. In fact, I found it difficult to move. I was smelling, hearing, and breathing my youth. This swept over me in a matter of seconds, but in seconds more all feeling was gone. There was numbness. We did not stay long on the surface, but it was long enough to see the worst. Riven, which was once one island, has split apart into 5 distinct pieces about a half a mile apart. Some of these have been claimed by Gehn as his exclusive domain. Some of these? That doesn't really look like an S, does it? Only his ministers and personal militia are even allowed access to them. 4 of these. Ah, yes. Very good, very good. From my vantage point, at the edge of the forest, I could see 3 of these islands. They were stripped of their former beauty and are riddled with Gehn's self-absorbed constructions. The moiety rarely visit these closely guarded places. There is another island which I could not see, as it had evidently crept away to a terrific distance. The moiety are very unclear as to what exists on that island, except for the fact that they know it is where the great tree used to exist. The forest is located on the island that the surface dwellers and the moiety still refer to as Riven, but they also still refer to their entire world as Riven. This island is where the village is, which has changed dramatically. It is also the one remaining province of the people, though Gehn's influence can be seen everywhere. Yeah, okay, these are trainways. Of course, I know the reason for the fracturing of the island. The moiety do not. Gehn wrote this place, and it will die, as all of Gehn's ages eventually die. I feel nothing today, I am nothing. I live in a cave on a dying world inhabited by people that... They are treating me so strangely, they don't know how to relate to a god. I'm still an outcast here. They whisper among themselves, talking of my bravery during my excursion to the surface, how I walked across the island, bold and unafraid. But they don't know me. Given Gati is uncomfortable around me, at times there is no awkwardness, and I am only Catherine to her, but at other times I am something else. I am afraid. There is such a... not sure, numbness inside me. Today I do not feel closeness with my people, neither am I offended by their worship of me. I do not hate Gehn, I do not feel anything. At least Neela is still close. I'm not sure if these sketches are important there. I am boiling. Gehn is making and writing books. I wish they had told me sooner. Atris should have realised this would happen. Of course, Gehn would have written all of the materials necessary to the Denis craft of making books into this age, and probably every other age he ever wrote. He is attempting to write his way out of here. We did not imprison him, we merely delayed him. This age has become his factory, and the people are his machines, all labouring in his mad pursuit to become a god, to carry on his noble Denis cause. So is Gehn a Denis? Are Gehn and Atris both Denis? So far, he has not been able to produce a fully functional book. Atris has never believed in destiny, but I don't know what else to call it. It's too perfect, it's too much of a coincidence. They hang on my every word, though they do not understand them. I am their hope, and now I have returned. I owe this to them. There is no choice. Okay, yeah, well, we know about that handle. We know about that. Give me the code. Give me the code for the rusted door. It's been a long time since my last entry. It is hard to recognise, but I have found the Star Fissure. It is located on an island which the Rivenese call Aleppo, meaning water pool, but which is referred to by the moiety as something, meaning pool of stars. Having once allowed Atris to escape this age without leaving an open door behind us, it has since been sealed with a skin of heavy iron. A crude telescope has been mounted over the locked viewport, the combination to which was acquired by the moiety before my arrival. Thank you. On the other hand, though, pretty sure one of the other books talked about the fact that isn't the Star Fissure literally in space? Like, doesn't it sort of eventually suck all of the air out of Riven or something like that? Because I remember we discussed this a couple of weeks ago and we talked about, well, that could be a really incredible source of power, actually, as long as you don't literally run out of air. But let me think. What is that in terms of numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the vertical ones are 1s and the horizontal ones are 5s. So it's 1, 1, 5, 1, 5. I mean, it must not be like insta-kill like space actually would be, right? Because I believe your character literally fell into the Star Fissure and found the Myst book in there. But I don't know. In the early days, let's see, Gehn's book talked about it. It had a vacuum effect, seemed to have an atmosphere inside. Then wrote about the fissure in his journal. That's where that discussion took place. Right, okay, yeah. In the early days, the moiety, seeking an escape from Riven, briefly pursued the idea of reopening the fissure. They discovered a small mechanical stop to prevent the scope from hitting the portal window. Ultimately, however, they decided against opening it. Is that one of those super bad optional endings? Everyone in Riven falls into the star fissure. At the beginning of Myst, I always thought it was Atris falling into the fissure and the book falling into your hands. Oh. The intro to Myst is pretty ambiguous. Without the book's context, might be worth rewatching. Fair enough. Question for you guys, the lore experts in the chat. How much of this backstory had sort of been percolating in Robin and Rand's minds when they created the original Myst? Because I'm presuming the original Myst is more a straightforward puzzle game, and the linking books is more a convenient mechanic to have puzzles separated off from the hub world. And Riven's the point where they really started actually putting a lot of thought into the background story of how this all actually fits together. Was Book of Atris released before Myst? Oh man, if Book of Atris came out before Myst, that would be that's a bold marketing strategy for sure. Okay, so maybe we are or are not supposed to open the fissure. I hate to think what would have happened to them if they had not left it alone. Oh, right, okay. Maybe we are supposed to leave it alone then. I've instructed them to stay away from it. I'm almost certain that with the decayed state of the islands, opening the fissure now would be disastrous. Oh, man. I'm sensing we're going to need to do a little bit of save scumming to test out some of these alternative endings, potentially. I have heard that in the days immediately following Gehn's confinement on Riven, he attempted to determine the feasibility of navigating the stars beneath the fissure. For he had seen the Myst book fall from Atris' hands into that very same space. To this end, he would have people transgressions of the law thrown into it so he could observe their fate. The telescope which still stands there is one he had built from these callous experiments. Oh, for these callous experiments. BOA did not come out before Myst, but they were ready with the story. Okay, you'd recommend looking into bad endings after getting the good one, not before. Okay, noted. To be fair, I would say probably same rules as our Myst playthrough, right? Like, the first ending you get is the true ending that you got, right? And the other endings are the alternate endings. So, if you can't decide between the red or the blue book, then, you've got to kind of flip a coin, right? There are several bad endings. No soft locks, though, just straight up bad endings. Fair enough. And some of the bad endings spoil things. Okay, well, that's good to know. It is said that they did not die, but what became of them remains a mystery. It appears that the limits of Gehn's optics prevented him from gleaning their fate, let's say. The star field beneath the fissure is not as it seems. It is a gentle space, as hospitable to life as a flowing river. This is how Atris explained it after he had fallen into it, but much more that we've never understood, and we were never able to conclude upon its origins, but the visions tell me that it was from out of the will of the Maker, perhaps, for some greater purpose that we cannot yet understand. I still remember Atris' words from his journal. I realized the moment I fell into the fissure that the book would not be destroyed as I had planned. It continued falling into the starry expanse. There must be some greater reason behind it. I neglected to mention it earlier, the unique shape of one of the great daggers which appeared during our escape from Riven. The very design that stands vertically at one end of that's the island, has been adopted by the moiety as the symbol of their cause. So they're not the ones placing the big daggers. Big daggers were already there. It is a sacred symbol for them. It is a representation of all of their doctrine and representation of me. To deface this symbol is sacrilege. They have their own mythical explanation regarding its sudden origins. I haven't told them that I wrote it into this age along with all the other daggers. Yeah, this is very, very reminiscent of the Bene Gesserit seeding religious superstition amongst the people in various planets, right? It's strange how such a young religion can be so unbending, even to their own god. I have tried to dissuade them of the notion that symbols contain so much power. The enemy uses this paranoia against them. They are fearful of Gehn's symbol and are terrorized by its symbolic use of the wark. But they don't want to hear this from me. Perhaps my attempts have even caused some of the younger members of the moiety to doubt that I am Catherine. My more encounters with those who say they follow Gehn have been discouraging. I have helped to have some communication with the surface villagers, but they always flee from me. It does raise a question. Did that dagger land at the edge of the fissure by chance, or did it create it somehow? Well, yeah, I mean, the iron crack, because what you got like dirt, don't you? And then the iron skin that they've put over the top of it sort of points towards the dagger, doesn't it? Okay. But I have heard news of some of the villagers' beliefs regarding Gehn. Soon after we trapped Gehn on Riven, he claimed that he was responsible for the daggers, placing them around the island as a reminder of their failure. In the village, circles, it is told that this was a punitive act performed by Gehn to mark the beginning of a period of restitution, at the end of which If they have proven their devotion to him, they will be delivered unto a new and better existence. I will continue to try and reach them. The door is open. If Gehn is free. The door is open as Gehn is free. Okay. The daggers appeared at the same time as the fissure, no. But it is supposed to... Is it supposed to look like that? Catherine's obvious dramatic flair. Fair. Well, my friends, I am afraid we are out of time for today's stream, right? But this is a good place to leave it, right? We're going to remember that this is the page we're on, because I think if we put the book down, I don't... Oh, no, it is going to remember where we are. How many more pages do we have to do? A decent number. So, we are going to be starting next week's stream with an audiobook section. I just noticed that the music came back on. I was like, is that lady coming back with more books? Excellent. Well, thank you very much for coming along to today's stream. Let's say a quick goodbye to those of you watching on YouTube in the future. If you are watching on YouTube in the future, thank you very much for coming along today. Next episode is going to be out in a week's time, and we're going to be starting with this audiobook section. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like on it. Consider subscribing to the channel. If you're not so much interested in the audiobook sections, feel free to skip the first half of next week's episode. For now, though, have a great rest of the day. Have a great week. I will see you soon. Bye for now. For those of us who are still on Twitch, thank you very much for coming on today. Thank you very much for